Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to Undercover ET. And folks, since the Age of Disclosure documentary came out, it does seem that a lot of pressure is now mounting on Trump to disclose, and it's exciting times. But we're going to discuss today what might happen if he does disclose, and if he doesn't, what might happen as well. There are two outcomes, folks, and you may think that doing nothing will change nothing, but I do believe doing nothing at this point will actually do some harm for Donald Trump. A lot of questions will be asked if he doesn't do anything. We're also going to go over some evidence today. So as you guys know, I have got the new camera. I have been recording out there. The quality is crisp, guys, and I caught some really strange stuff over the last few days. There were Dragon UAP, not so many, but there were Dragon UAP over the last week. I'm not going to be showing any of those. I do have some stranger captures which I'd like to share with you guys, and perhaps you guys can shed some light. I'm really confused, but let me know in the comments. Guys, let's get into it. Okay, Astronomy Vibes has posted this one. Guys, give Astronomy Vibes a follow if you haven't already on X. UFO shockwave on Fox News. David Grusch has dropped new explosive allegations claiming President Trump was fully briefed on recovered non-human craft, biologics and evidence of non-human intelligence. And look, we've all been speculating, was he briefed, was he not briefed? Of course he knows. You know, he's sharing an office with people that are well in the know, you know, that are coming forward, so of course he knows. Let's have a look at Fox News, find out what Trump may or may not know and what he may or may not do.
And I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it. People that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something out there. And, you know, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. You know, I just, for some reason, it's not my thing.
So you think, one, he knows, and two, he's open to transparency on UAPs?
He certainly is very well informed on this issue. Leave it at that. I don't want to get ahead of what the president might want to reveal personally.
There's been a role to cover this up, you're saying, through administrations. And there have been people who have been threatened and told not to testify?
I was physically threatened even before I sent in my Intelligence Community Inspector General report under the previous administration. I actually had to go and seek legal protection that way because I was, you know, literally in fear both professionally and in my personal life.
And when you mentioned in that testimony of recovering the pilots or remains non-human, that's something that you saw as far as the intelligence with your eyes?
Yes. And it is a very uncomfortable, even for me now, as somebody who's seen it, experienced it, even talking about it, because it's so outside a normal person's worldview to understand that there is this biological sentience that have piloted these crafts that don't necessarily look 100% like you and I.
Were there pictures? Were there?
There were. Yes, there were.
When I said from another planet or from outer space, you said we don't know where they're from. Is it interdimensional? What are we talking about?
I've talked to a lot of, I'll call graybeards on the program. That is a subject of hot debate on origin. As a guy trained in physics formally as well in my background, I leave an open mind on what the origin is. Certainly, there is the extraterrestrial hypothesis, and they could be coming from elsewhere off Earth, but I don't usually go there because I did not see that data, and I'm not conversant in the high confidence theories that the U.S. government had.
I'm not aware of any remains that the department has of, you know, any signs of extraterrestrial beings or activity or technology.
You say we, the U.S. government knows, but there are many other governments around the world. Do they know?
They have their own programs, and like I said 2.5 years ago, we have been in arms race with our peer competitors, you know, namely Russia and China, and they have their own programs in this regard. And I was actually able to view a body of intelligence that discussed adversarial programs, and I'll leave it at that.
We've recovered things, you say, bodies and physical remains. Was there a sense that the motive of how they got here, what they were doing, was it peaceful, not peaceful?
We've seen a mixed bag of activity. And motive and intent, why they're visiting, that's once again, that gets into our assessments, not necessarily, we can't quite understand the intent of some of the sentience and why they're visiting. Could it be because we have interesting genetic material on Earth? We're a Jurassic Park tourist attraction for them. Could be a myriad of reasons.
For the other people who are coming out, you say to them what? You've obviously faced intimidation. You talked about harassment. There are reports that others have too.
I say that there's hope. Certainly, Congress values whistleblower information right now, and certainly I believe there's an appetite with the administration to do the right thing on this as well. And there's some other things that are happening behind the scenes that I'll let the administration discuss when they're ready.
So that was David Grusch, and to be honest with you, I mean, these guys are in a much deeper position than the likes of you and me. We just record UAP, put it up for the world to see, and these guys need to put it forward in an official capacity with all the pushback and all the pressure for them not to go forward. It's a funny old world that we're living in. Will Trump disclose is the big question. Now, I said this in my last video, he's well placed, being the president now on his last term, given 34 of his officials have helped make a documentary pretty much saying that there's something else out there. You can see from this report the previous administration was in complete denial about it, and to be honest, most of them have been, if not all of them, right? Maybe Kennedy wanted to come forward, and look what happened to Kennedy. So look, we don't really know the ins and outs of what goes on in government. All we do know is that there's someone in there, Grusch and others, fighting for all of this to come out. And what really pains me is they are obviously going through the avenues they have to go through. The very fact that he's allowed to speak in the first place tells you its own story. It's like the agreement's up. If there was an agreement between us and them, it's over, because we're now discussing it and we're trying to get it out there. But secondly, they could always approach the public, someone with credible evidence, and say, can you just send me your files and we'll get it out there, because the government aren't listening. They could push back themselves more so, but they're doing it behind closed doors when the greater public could see what's going on if all the evidence was pushed. Now, I know I appreciate it's hard to verify, but cameras don't lie, my friends. Cameras don't lie. When we're in a place where, you know, someone's broken the law and you've gone to court and they use camera evidence, it's because the cameras don't lie. If they see you're there and they see you committing the crime, you're going to get charged for it. Okay? Now, if someone's putting a camera in the sky and they do it regularly and they regularly catch UAP, we should take that at face value. We shouldn't go, oh, well, you know, he's a fisherman. He's not a military man. What's that got to do with it? He's got a camera in his pocket. In his area, he's got UFOs flying around continuously. So that's where I get annoyed, because these guys are fighting so hard to do something that we could do quite easily if they just gave it time of day. Not only, when I say we, I don't mean this channel only. I mean the public in general could quite easily disclose if we just had the attention. If people like Grusch and others came forward to people with either channels or people with, you know, that's recording regularly at night or something and can show the world something, you know. Thing is, they're not looking for that. They want to go down official capacity. And I get it. There's a big secret behind it. So what happens if Trump does disclose? Well, if he says that UFOs are real and they're flying around air bases, and the reason why they know is because they have been flying around military installations, the first thing that will happen is a bunch of people are going to start recording the skies, and they're going to start going towards these military facilities and recording, because they will want to capture something. There'll be people all around the world that will suddenly go, well, what does our government know? Okay, then they're going to start questioning their own government for answers. Are we involved? Do we have any technology? What do we know? Okay, there'll almost be a slight jealousy towards the US if they declare that they know about these things and they have them in their possession, and then that will probably kickstart bragging rights across the world as well for any countries that do have them, that want to deter the US away. They'll start bragging that they have these things as well. My prediction is camera companies will go crazy, so maybe invest some shares in the digital camera industry. I feel like recording the skies will be the next big thing. I've been saying it now for the past year. It's only going to take one person to declare, whether it be Trump or someone else, and all of this, what I'm talking about, will start happening. On a society level, most people will be okay with it. Most people will be okay with it. There'll be a few extreme religious groups that may start kicking off and calling it misinformation and all of that, but ultimately the majority of the world will be okay with it up until we start seeing them arrive. Then people may freak out just a little bit, okay, because they'll start questioning stuff and start second doubting what's going on and their intentions and all of that. Initially, people are going to be really excited. They'll be recording the skies. Long term, if he discloses and we find out and this technology suddenly becomes readily available to study worldwide, the planet will do amazing things. We'll evolve as a species. The planet will benefit. So will the people, the livelihoods, through technology, and also we'll have cosmic bros, right? So it's pretty cool stuff. We'll actually be able to learn more about life and the cosmos, and we'll be able to discuss that with hopefully other beings. So that's what disclosure looks like if it does come to fruition. For me, it's going to be a bumpy road. Stage by stage, the public will react differently. Initially, they're going to think it's really cool. Reality will hit home when they capture something or they see something, and then people may start to freak out a little bit. But ultimately, change is okay with the humans. We adapt really easily, and it takes about 2 weeks before we're okay with stuff. That's just my opinion on it. What happens if Trump doesn't disclose? Well, that's a biggie. And again, this is just my opinion. If he doesn't disclose, I feel like everyone who's come forward so far would have felt let down. I feel like the Epstein files is going to eventually swallow him if he doesn't put this out there. The whole UFO community are just not going to trust Trump or anyone who doesn't talk about it. Okay, it's got to the point where so many people have spoken about it now. If someone in the world does not come forward and say this is a real thing on an official level from some government somewhere, people aren't going to roll over and accept it. They're going to be like, well, why is he saying this? Why are these guys saying this if there's nothing in it? Honestly, this is coming out. I really feel like it's coming out. But if it doesn't, implications are people are going to be annoyed. People are going to be really pissed off. Secondly, it's not a secret, I believe, that can be kept. The awareness has gone crazy through the roof, and we don't really know what these objects are in space right now. We've got 2 objects perfectly positioned either side of us, the Earth, and we don't really know what they are. They're massive in size, and look, if anything was to happen, we are defenseless right now, completely defenseless. So we may as well just be gracious, say what is and what's out there and what's been found, and I feel like at this time the world will accept something new, something different. There'll be inside wars to make it happen, and that's not going to be good for anyone. We're already fighting the inside war. We shouldn't have to do it. It will actually be worse now for the people and for the world if no one comes forward. There's already a lot of distrust between the people and the authorities, especially over in the US, especially here in the UK. This country is it's not a mess. The people are fine. It's the leadership. It's literally the leadership. Change the people at the top and everything falls into place. We're not rioting. We're not going, oh, you like Labour, so we're going to hate your family and all of that stuff. No, there's no divide in the UK like that. Yeah, there were people rioting in the streets in the Midlands. They're not happy with the current government. That's it. It feels like there's a massive tide across the whole world right now of change. And the UK are going to go through it. Got some big questions for UK officials as well, because whilst the US has come forward with this, not one person that I can see in the UK government is going to do a thing about this. They are all blissfully unaware, and the ones that are aware are just keeping it secret. There are no questions being asked in the UK. There are no investigations happening. There's no one coming forward. There's no whistleblowers. There's no protection for the whistleblowers. And this is where I think the UK are in so deep, so deep. The only reason why we have friends still is because of what we know and what we're capable of. It's not because of Keir Starmer. Okay, so we're going to have to get rid of Keir, because on this topic alone, and it just so happens to be the biggest topic in human history that's about to unfold, and we do not want Keir Starmer representing the UK in that moment. Okay, that will send the public wild. So for anyone who believes in UFO UAP, believes in what the US Congress are saying, believes what we're showing as well, just think about that for a moment. We're going to have this tit representing us as a country in this time.
Emotional damage.
Just can't happen, folks. It just can't happen. So let's get rid of him one step at a time. and then we'll get disclosure done. I honestly think it will come after Christmas, could come within the next week or two, for the simple fact that I believe all the Epstein files are going to be released within the next 3 or 4 weeks. It will be timing. The timing will be impeccable. If you think about it, guys, it kind of already is with everything that's going on. So yeah, guys, let's get into this evidence that I recorded out the window. It's some strange stuff. There's a few moments that I really don't know what's going on. I do need your help with it. So let's get into it. So you can see the quality is very, very nice. Now this white dot in the middle of this house here does zip past, and I've just stopped it in this moment because it's a one framer. Okay, this, like many other objects, were coming through quite regularly. Okay, now some of them were flies, the smaller ones were flies, certainly the ones that were moving slowly, but some of them were moving so fast I was only getting them in a few frames like this one, and so I start questioning what's going on, right? Not something I usually would capture, but I have been. So I've got the volume off. I'm just going to play on, guys. I'll just let it play. So the moment I want to take you to is 7 minutes-ish. We're going to watch it from like 7 minutes. Look at that bird. Great quality on the bird. Right. Stay focused, Rob. Stay focused. Okay, from 7 minutes. Now, guys, I want you to focus on the lower half of the screen. There's a lot of white dots zipping past, and I did notice it, and I didn't think too much of it. I just thought, well, with the sun shining over us, you know, could be like small insects zipping past and they're just being lit up from the sun, right? But we capture something else. You see the white flickers are still going on. By the way, it's not snowing. Haven't had snow in Chippenham, so it's not snow. For sure, a lot of the small white ones are just insects, guys. Whoa, okay, so what the hell was that? This is... So you can imagine, I've caught this before in Wales, filming just where Kit caught that jellyfish UAP. I was stood in that spot earlier this summer, and I caught this exact phenomena, which has been seen all over the world, right? We've seen this time and time again, but no one's ever turned around and said, it's this, I know definitively it's this. Some people have, the only excuse that people have come up with is a spider's web flying through the sky, or, you know, coming off a door handle or something. But in this instance, guys, there's no spider web, certainly where I'm stood, right? Look at the size of this ring that passes through here. Look at that. And you can tell it's between the houses, right? You can. It looks massive as well, whatever's going on here. And I remember I saw this and I thought, what the hell was that? So of course I continued to, record. And now the main focus for me is above, is on this roof of this house. And look, it's happening again, guys. But smaller ones. It's like there's cloaked craft or something just moving on through. And you've got little white objects passing with these things as well. Now look, arguably these white objects were passing through anyway, but it's very strange, guys. And yeah, this just kept happening. It just kept happening, guys. Like, I just kept seeing it crossing the roof there. It was sort of how there were different sizes, happening slightly different positions, and the white objects were just zipping through at random moments. And what's really strange with this, there's even a white object that seems to fly into the roof, disappear and come out where the brick is in the centre of the house. So passes through the dark part of the roof and comes out where the brick is, underneath the chimney, but a bit further down. So there's some strange stuff going on here, guys, and this has always been a very strange spot for me, but I couldn't tell you exactly what is going on. I feel like it is cloakcraft. They're just moving through. Obviously we're going to get, look at that, look at that, over the roof line. Look, it's like 3 dots just passing. That's huge. Look at that. And then you see this zipper. See that white zipper there? Look, it don't look like much. It could just be a bug. The problem is, I can't see what it is to confirm it's a bug. Right? And we got things coming past, seemingly coming out of the brickwork here. Look at this. What's going on here? You know, and it's connected here, look guys, there's a piece of it here. I don't know, this thing is massive, whatever it is, whatever's creating this, whatever it is, it's large. Whether it, even if it's just a pocket of air that seems to be different to the rest, it's large. And like I say, I'm recording in an area where I capture UFOs, and then I capture this stuff. And I've seen it in Wales. The one time that I was recording, I saw this in Wales, heading up directly from where I was sat. And so now I'm seeing it here outside where I live. And it's bizarre, guys. It happens about 5 or 6 times, honestly. All I can say is, I'll keep recording. There's still quite a few hours there that I haven't checked. Okay, I was literally up late last night. I went through about 2 hours worth of footage, 2 to 3 hours, and I've still got more to go over, and I've still got more to record as well. So I'm going to keep doing it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think that could be, because confused.com. Before we end it, I want to show you one more clip. Alright guys, so this is 1 minute long. I've already done the editing. This was the same day but early morning, and again had something a little bit strange that I don't normally capture, but I did capture in Wales. So let's go. Let's try and figure this out. So that was again the first questionable thing I saw, and I was like, okay, we've got potential orbs knocking around. I mean, what is that? What could this be, guys? Leaving just what could that be? Look at this thing. You can see it clear as day against the seat of, against the roof there. I've done a lot of recording here, guys. I've never seen anything like this, and maybe it's because I've got the new camera. I'm starting to pick it up now, but. Again, you see the movement it makes there, guys. Just going back. Look at this. See, it pops up. And then back down. Does a little shimmy and goes left. It's like it does a hard left, you know. Look, if you imagine, it's just popped up the screen. Look, that's the hard left there. Sort of just, it's going upwards, and then yeah, okay, there's a dragon. And there you have it. Beautiful dragon in the sunshine. What the orbs were, that's a new one for me outside here. I've seen like white objects, but the orbs, that's a proper orb of sorts. No idea, guys. There was a massive one that showed up as well. I will show you in the next video. It was quite faint, but it showed up really well. Like I say, my camera's just inside my windowsill. The light does hit the camera, but there's no webs around me, folks. There's no reason why I should be seeing that sort of thing going above that roof. Moving across the roof, the air, it was a unit and a half, no idea. But I can tell you now, anomalous stuff happened here, anomalous stuff happened in Wales. It was the same shiz. I just don't know what the hell's going on. So let me know in the comments if you know what that could be. The last time I showed it, like I said, from the Wales clip, the only debunk that people could come up with was spiderweb. And that, for me, I mean, it happened 5 or 6 times during this one recording. So I don't know, guys. I can't tell you for sure, but I know one thing. It's not a flipping spiderweb. So with that said, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. God knows we need your support. Support the public's evidence. Support disclosure. Thank you so much. Take care. All the best. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.